Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you a very delicious, simple dessert that I have grown up with since I was a little girl. This delicious dessert is none other than the currant roll. You can also use raisins to make this dessert, but the original recipe is made out of currants, so it's a currant roll. And sometimes it's very hard to find currants, so I have substituted raisins. Today that's also what I'm doing, because over here where I live I just cannot find any currants in the grocery stores. What I do is I use raisins and I just put it on the chopping board and I just chop it up so to make it in really tiny pieces, and this is what I substitute for my currants. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. Beautiful, delicious Caribbean currant roll. For this recipe, this delicious currant roll, all the ingredients you need are right here. I have them here. It's very simple. It's not, you do not need a ton of ingredients. So it will be very easy for this recipe. All right guys, so I'm going to show you step by step. On this channel everything is step by step, and I show you exactly what it is that I use, so when you make it, it comes out as delicious as when I make it. So guys, come on, let's go. So all you will need for this delicious dessert, this delicious pastry filled currant or raisin roll, is flour, little pinch of salt, butter, very important guys, and make sure that your butter is cold. Your butter needs to be cold out of the refrigerator. I have a little yellow food coloring, and I'll tell you why I'm using this in a minute. And I have here about 1.5 cups of raisins. The original recipe calls for currants, but as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm unable to find currants, so I'm substituting raisins. And guys, you can go ahead and do the same. On this channel, we are substituting, we are making everything our own. We are putting our twist on everything on this channel. So a recipe, an original recipe doesn't have to stay original. You make it original to you. So since I cannot find currants in the stores near me, I am using raisins, and I've done this before. I have 1.5 cups of raisins, and I went ahead and I squeezed an orange in there, and I sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon. You do not have to do that. I just find that when I squeeze a little orange, or if you have orange juice in your fridge, just put like a tablespoon or 2 on there. It just softens up your raisins. And I just added just a sprinkle of cinnamon just for flavor. 1 cup of cold water. I also have ice cubes here because I need my water to be very cold. So this is why I still have my ice cubes in there, because I want the water to be cold when I'm mixing my flour and my butter. Because the pastry we're making is kind of like a very flaky pastry. So the water has to be cold, and your butter has to be cold, guys. That's very important. If not, your pastry will come out doughy, and you do not want a doughy pastry for this recipe. You need it to be nice and fluffy. So in my bowl here, I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of flour. I'm going to add a little pinch of salt. Just like this. I'm not measuring because it's just a little salt just to bring out the flavor of everything when you mix. And I have butter here. It's 8 ounces. I'm using Kerrygold pure Irish butter, and I'm using the unsalted butter. When you're making pastries or anything with pastries, please go ahead and use unsalted butter. Do not use salted butter. And the quality of your pastry depends on the quality of your butter, guys. This is why I'm using the Irish pure butter. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it in cubes. Very easy, very simple. I'm doing it right from the package. I'm not using another dish for that. Very simple, very easy. So for now, I'm going to just mix with this, and then I'm going to see if I need to add more butter. So all you do, you just want to mix and incorporate all of your butter with the flour. And your flour is supposed to end up like crumbs, like breadcrumbs. Use your fingers and just incorporate the butter with the flour, guys. Mix it up because you want a consistency of breadcrumbs. And I'm only using my fingers, guys. I'm not kneading this dough. I'm just getting the butter incorporated into the flour. This is what you want. You want consistency of breadcrumbs. You can tell there's no more flour in there. If you find there's flour, you just keep mixing. See how it just looks like breadcrumbs? That's it, guys. That's what you want. So now, all you have to do is to add your cold water in here. And guys, cold water. This is why I still have my ice cubes in there. And you only use a tiny bit of water. The original recipe of this delicious currant-filled pastry, the dough is yellow. So this is why I'm using my yellow food color. So I'm just going to put a little drop of my yellow food color into my cold water. Guys, this is my tip and my trick to you. Because if you use the butter alone, although this butter, because of the quality of this butter, you can tell that it's yellow. It will give you a nice light colored yellow dough. But if you use another butter, which I've done before, it just comes out like the same color of the flour, and that is not too appealing or attractive. So I normally add a little bit of food color to my cold water when I'm mixing, so I get this nice yellow colored dough. Makes it look very, very nice. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little drop of food color. So this is the color of my water now. So you do not need a lot of water. I have a full cup of water, which I don't even need. When I put the ice cubes in there, it just kind of like got all the way to the top of the cup. But you only need a little water, guys. And you're not going to knead. You're just going to kind of like bring it together. You do not knead this dough. This dough is no kneading. You just bring it together. You just bring it together. Guys, you saw I used just a tiny bit of water because this dough is not about the water. This dough is about the butter. And if by chance when you make it you find that it's a little dry, go ahead and just add a teeny bit of water, guys. Just if you put too much water in there, you are going to ruin this dough. If you put too much water, this is it. You'll have to make a fresh batch, and you do not want that. So I just brought everything together. It doesn't have to be perfect because now you do not want it to be perfect. This is not what this is about. You just need to have your dough come together. And even the crumbling like this is fine. That's a good sign that you have enough butter in there. So I'm just going to go ahead, get some cling wrap. Just going to place my dough in the cling wrap. I'm just going to put it in the fridge to get nice and cold. I just took my dough out of the refrigerator. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. I have my oven turned on to 350 degrees. I just turned it on as I took my dough out of the refrigerator. I did not need to have it on before then. It bakes very quickly, so I did not have to have my oven on before now. So I just turned my oven on and I have my dough. I'm going to roll that out and fill it up and get it all ready for the oven. So I have my little mat here. This mat is just so handy. When I'm done with it, I can just fold it up and put it away. You do not need any flour. Okay guys, so I have my dough here. I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. And I'll put a little flour on my rolling pin. Just keep flouring the rolling pin. For some reason, my dough is sticking to my rolling pin. I think I did not leave it in the fridge long enough, but that's okay. Make it work. Dough doesn't have to be a perfect shape because we are going to roll it up anyway. All right guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and add my raisins or your currants into here. In this case, I have my raisins. And go ahead and spread it out because you do not want for your filling to just be on one end and the other end to be empty. Okay, and now you just go ahead and roll. So since it was breaking up, I'm just going to go ahead and use my mat. That's one of the advantages of having this kind of mat. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll. Use the mat to guide me. Just tuck in the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tray. Going to put a little piece of parchment on there. Just transfer it onto my tray. Make sure the ends are nice and tucked in. I'm going to go ahead and add some, I have an egg white here. I'm just going to go ahead and just brush a little egg white on there. You do not need to do that if you don't want to, because I'm going to sprinkle a little sugar on top. So that will help the sugar adhere to the dough. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some sugar on top. You can use any sugar. And go ahead and poke some holes on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven. This is it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 15 minutes. It shouldn't take longer than that. Okay, guys. Here you have it. Our delicious currant roll. Beautiful. Nice and fluffy and crunchy. Look how beautiful. Now for the taste test. It is delicious, guys. It's so flaky, it's just breaking apart and melting in my mouth. It's just beautiful. I just love the fluffiness of the dough and the way it just melts in my mouth, guys. Guys, look at this. So beautiful. Nice and flaky dough, and it's just filled with all the raisins in there. It tastes delicious too. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. It was my honor showing you how to make these delicious currant rolls. I cannot iterate enough. It is just so delicious. It's beautiful. It's nice and fluffy. The dough just melts in my mouth and it smells so good. If this is your first time here, guys, please subscribe. If you like this video and would like to see more videos like this, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to show you or to bring you more videos like this. Until the next time, bye guys.